Happy Thanksgiving here from Metal Ben. Yes, anyways, little update video for you guys. Gonna show you some recent purchases that I acquired over the weekend. Yes. In the background, we are listening to the debut album by Opeth. Orchid. I don't know, man. When I see Opeth ranking videos, for some reason, this album gets ranked pretty low. Not like low, maybe in the middle. I don't know why. To me, I've always been more of a fan of the first two Opeth albums, being Orchid and Morning Rise. I know a lot of people would pick Black Water Park. Still Life would be a high one. Or Deliverance, or maybe even Ghost Reveries. Not me, I like the first two Opeth albums the best. Maybe it's because they have more of a raw production, I don't know, there's just something about the atmosphere of the first two Opeth albums I like more, than the other albums. Not saying that their other albums are bad. But anyways, let's get on to this collection video. Or a recent update video, I should say. Got a couple CDs here. I got this one in the mail. It's, the debut album by Ritual Servant. Yes, entitled Metallium Evangelist. Yes. Phenomenal debut album. I'm telling you, man, if you're into early Slayer, mixed with Master of Puppets, Justice era Metallica, I think you would enjoy this. It's not like straight up, it's not like straight up polka thrash, if you want to call that kind of thrash polka thrash. Like an Exodus or Creator or Destruction. It's more along the lines of like South of Heaven era Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss era Slayer. Very good debut album from Roxx Records. Definitely recommend this. It's definitely going to be on my list for 2019. Tremendous debut album. I'm telling you, one of the best debuts I've heard in a while when it comes to thrash metal. And I needed this for my collection. I had this before, I rebought it. I found it used, I figured, I needed. Definitely nowhere near the best album from this band, but I'm talking about Iced Earth, The Crucible of Man. I was really anticipating this back in 2008 when it was coming out, because it is Matthew Barlow's return to Iced Earth. I mean, he wouldn't be in the band much longer. But yeah, this album is pretty disappointing, but I needed it. Anyways, moving on to the vinyls. Alright, so we got April Wine, Nature of the Beast from 1981. Came out on Capitol Records, I believe, and Aquarius Records. Anyways, yes, my favorite April Wine album. Man, this is a good album. You got great tracks like All Over Town. Sign of the Gypsy Queen's phenomenal. Just Between You and Me was a minor hit. I still hear it every once in a while on classic rock radio if I stumble upon the classic rock radio station, Caught in the Crossfire, great tune. Future Tense is probably my favorite track on here. Or it could be Crash and Burn. Crash and Burn is a wicked track. Almost like early proto-speed metal with that track. You got Bad Boys. Great album. Yes. And, yeah, I've been meaning to get some earlier Def Leppard 2 in my collection. Well, I found High and Dry. Phenomenal album, in my opinion, before they would go down that commercial slump, you know, and they still really haven't got out of it. To me, you know, when it comes to Def Leppard, all you need is the EP, the 78 EP, On Through the Night, First Strike, High and Dry, and Pyromania. That's all you need from Def Leppard. After that, you don't need nothing else. To me, Hysteria is very overrated. I know some are not going to agree with that. It's an album I did like as a kid, but I just outgrew it fast once I heard earlier Def Leppard. Phenomenal freaking album, though. I mean, my God. High and Dry Saturday Night, On Through the Night. Ironically, yeah, it's on this album. I don't know if it was a leftover from the On Through the Night album. It probably was. But, you know, you got Let It Go, another hit and run. Lady Strange, one of the most underrated Def Leppard tunes. Switch 625, you know, which ends up bringing on a heartbreak, you know, great instrumental by the late Steve Clark and Pete Willis. This right here was a nice find. I'm talking about the second album by Ole John Roth solo. Yes, Electric Sun, man. What a great album this is. You know, you got some pretty decent tracks on here too, like Cast Away Your Chains, you know, Firewind, the self-titled track is great. You know, you got Enola Gay, Hiroshima, Today. You know, tremendous epic instrumental, man. Joplin and I mean, Children of the Sea, great second album by Ole John Roth, and Firewind. Alright, moving on. I didn't have any Robin Trowler, and I found this, you know, for a fairly cheap price. I believe this is his 8th album, if memory serves me correct. Came out in 1980. I'm talking about Robin Trowler, right there. Victims of Fury, or Victims of the Fury, from 1980. You know, Robin Trowler's just a tremendous guitar player. Definitely has that Hendrix style to him, you know. And this is a pretty darn good album by him. Moving on, you know, I couldn't resist this when I found it. I'm talking about Defenders of the Faith by Judas Priest. And as you all know, I just did from best to worst of the Judas Priest albums. This came in at my number 2. Man, this album, like I said, it's so good, you know. Just great stuff. And last but not least, you know, I got a bunch of Annihilator CDs. This would be the first I have on vinyl. I'm talking about, I believe this came out in 2016. Annihilator Feast. Yeah. Yeah, man. Pretty good album, you know. I mean, Jeff Waters is one of the most underrated guitar players. Man, I forget which track it is. There is a track on here that sounds a lot like Damage Incorporated. Is it Smear Campaign or No Surrender? I can't remember right now. I gotta spin this album yet. But yeah, Annihilator Feast right there. Which, you know, with 4 days off, I'll have time to spin some albums. Alright guys, that's it for this update video. Alright, keep it metal! And by the way, check out the Metal Bends Chronicles group page on Facebook that I just started. Alright, keep it metal.